meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you for spending time with us. We got Jesse over there. Jesse, I know you're scouring the news headlines. A lot of things going on. North Korea, again in the news. It's not something we haven't talked about. We talk about Russia. We talk about Korea. We even talk about China all wanting to invade. Evidently something happened. You got wind of it. What happened there, Jess?
Oh my God, yes. It's like I went to sleep last night. Well, not really went to sleep. I like to watch TikTok and other things before I go to sleep. You never know what you want to talk about in the morning for news. So I saw this news report from Korea. I have no idea what they were saying, but I was just watching along because just in case. Apparently, the North Korea let out a barrage of missiles, 23 to be exact, triggering out the South Korean air raids sirens. So I can't even fathom what those sound like, and horrifying. Like you're just doing random things throughout the day, and then boom, they go off.
Yeah, not gonna lie, there are a lot of things that happen, and you go, okay, what? Like, I think if we heard it here, that would be weird, right? I don't think we've heard those in a long time. If you've ever gone to like Oklahoma or anywhere where they have tornadoes, it's the same type of alarm, like woo, real loud. And they're blaring for a reason because it's like, take cover. But when they did it in Japan, people here were like, no, they didn't. And I go, yeah, they did. And there's, stuff you can find on YouTube where people are like, they're in shock. They're like, yeah, it happened. And then one woman was like, they say, because it's followed by like information. You know how sometimes we get like a warning at the studio? And just so everyone knows, we're always live. But sometimes we get a warning if like there's a let's say there was a event. We get a warning and there's a printout that Jesse gets. And then, or sometimes they go, They haven't done that in a while on our show. But sometimes it would be a random, This is a test of the American Broadcasting System. This is only a test, right? And then they go, or something like that. But my point is this. It doesn't sound like that, by the way. The horrible sounds. But my point is this. These things are kind of in a way like you go, okay, and you pay attention. And usually for us here in L.A. or Orange County or San Bernardino or Riverside, and usually it's warnings whenever it's like for something, it's for San Bernardino or Riverside. It's usually like a flash flood warning, right, Jess? I don't know that I've heard anything really big when it comes to like those warnings that come into the station. Have you?
I have like just the emergency alert system and stuff like that, but like an actual emergency, I have not heard it for a while. The last time I remember hearing that, I remember it scared me. I think there was like really bad flash floods in the area.
Yeah.
And yeah, other than that, it doesn't go off too often.
Yeah, that's why radio, or AM radio especially, and or FM radio is very important to people, because if there were ever a problem, it's kind of like the movies whenever you see them, like whenever they're like going somewhere and they hear and they turn on the radio or they turn on their tuner and they hear like, anyone out there, just know you're not alone. We're hiding here, here, and here. Turn to channel this. And they put it on loop. If Jesse had a zombie apocalypse, he would put a loop on. I would say, Jesse, put on there that we're surviving and we're going here, because zombies don't tune the radio and understand that. Does that make sense?
It does, and I actually know how to do that too.
I bet you do. So that's a good thing about radio, about AM. Like, so if there were like a strike here, we would have to broadcast it, right? Jesse's like in a little bunker there. He's actually safe where he's at. I don't think anybody would bomb the area where he's at. So he'd be broadcasting all day long. Like, okay, guys, we don't know what's going on, but, I'm watching this, I'm watching that, I'm watching this. And then we would be broadcasting on AM radio. And then we would hope that other people would repeat the signal, and then it would get out further, than what it is now. Because I'm pretty sure internet wouldn't work at that point. But that's kind of the question. So I got an article here, Jess. Evidently, Russia has, and I don't know how it's escaping this, but they've been striking again nuclear sites again. So I'm like, okay, I clicked on it. It was on ABC, but it was just a video, so I didn't get to see it all. So a lot of people doing some weird things on the other side of the world, the side that we don't have to really like worry about. Back to like if there's like a huge alarm, we don't have to worry about that, right? But Japan does, Asia does, Korea does, and South Korea. What is South Korea doing about it, by the way, Jess?
I think they let out their own barrage. I know they let out their fighter jets to show some, oh, we're big and bad. But I haven't read on what they were actually doing. I think they're just watching to see what their North Korea is planning.
Yeah. Well,
But
go ahead.
yeah, I know. So I honestly don't know. It's just I know they made a lot of new laws in North Korea where like they will take preemptive strikes if it looks like they're going to be attacked.
Well, here's a report. White House is saying that North Korea is shipping artillery to Russia. So if that's happening, then okay, they're in bed with each other, right? That's number one. They said this actually earlier today that they're shipping a significant number of shells to Russia in support of the invasion of Ukraine. But I think they're shipping more than that, and I think they're going to want to work together in the days going forward because if they want to go against any other country, well, who's their enemy right now? South Korea, Japan, even sometimes China. But China and them kind of talk on this side, and I don't think they want war. But in a way, would China ever help Korea to take over South Korea? I say no, because South Korea has really good ties with China. But in a way, you never know, right? It just takes one, and then boom, right? National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby said the U.S. believes North Korea is trying to make it appear as though they're being sent to countries in the Middle East or North Africa. He declined to provide an estimate on the quantity of ammunition being sent to bolster the Russian effort. Kirby said North Korea is covertly supplying the ammunition to Russia. But again, this is something we talked about for like weeks, right? They, this is what they do. They're right in the region of each other. So Russia kind of said, okay, what can you do for us? Korea was like, we could do this. And, so it's a thing. I know people are like, no, it can't be. I go, well, you got to watch the news as it's been happening. We've been watching it, every now and then. Sometimes we don't talk about it. Sometimes we just kind of keep it like whatever because we don't want, a lot of like, we're not that show. You know what I mean? We're not, but we do say it when it's something that you need to pay attention to. And those of you that watch regularly, you know what we talk about. Speaking of which, we got Judy Munoz tuning in over there saying she's watching from College Place, Washington. All right, we appreciate you. Thank you very much, Judy. We always appreciate. We got a lot of things going on. We got things in the world, including people are going, okay, what? A lot of people, COVID, okay. I said this. I said, don't be like it's not a thing anymore. There's a COVID wave happening, which already started in New York, and it's now in California. They're calling it BQ. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. I know I was talking to a friend yesterday. He's like, "Oh, I'm well now." He goes, and I said, "Which one did you have?" He goes, "I got the second one." He goes, "I don't even know what one that is." So I'm pretty sure he got the second one, meaning of People are getting confused with that right now. But he had the second one of I think. I didn't really, go further into it. I kind of kept my distance, not gonna lie, because I'm like, okay, I don't know if you're still sick. I've been hearing a lot of people kind of sniff. Some people say it's allergies. I go, well, it's not the right season for allergies, technically. But if you sniff or you have like, something else, it could be, a cold, true, or it could be the flu, or it could be worse than that. But according to this is something that, as of this week, the third of cases in New York are BQ. Okay, that's what it's called. 50% of the cases currently this week of all COVID cases, by the way, are BQ here in California. So there it's more, 30%, right? 33% we'll say. Here, 15%, so half of that, right? Because it's just started. And they're tracking changes in COVID and the flu virus, just so you know. So they're saying testing and sequencing are at lows because no one's doing that because they're doing the home test. Or they're just saying, oh, it's just whatever. And then they get worse. We keep saying this. If you get breathing problems or if you get other problems that are like hard or difficult, go get checked. Sometimes people put it off and they don't know what it is. And sometimes even some doctors don't know what it is. But get tested and get the one, if you go to the doctor, get the one that's more reliable than the one in your nose, because the new variants, I talked to somebody very smart yesterday, and he said, look, there are some that may be he said this in answer to another situation that was, anyway, it was a thing. He said, look, there are some people that will get tested and they test negative. I said, yeah. He goes, no, you don't understand. There are some people that get tested, but they test negative because, in essence, he said a lot of things. It's a long, drawn-out conversation. But in essence, because some tests aren't testing properly. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, in essence, there are people that get tested, but the tests don't do the right thing now because it used to be in the nostrils. Now it's not in the nostrils anymore. They can have nothing in the nostrils, but they still have COVID. He goes, now a blood test doesn't tell what it is, but there is a test that people use, which you got to go to the doctor to get it. He says, so those home tests are dumb right now. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, let's put it this way. If you are like sniffing or you think you have a cold, that would probably be a good way to test. But let's say you don't have that. Let's say you have flu-like symptoms. He goes, if you have flu-like symptoms, you can't tell in the nostrils because it's not in the nostrils. It's already like down and in. He goes, let me give you an example. Let's say you shower. I go, yeah. He goes, let's say you shower every day. I go, yeah. He goes, let's say you wipe your nose, right? And you get all that stuff from out of your nose. I go, yeah. Well, how are they going to know it's coronavirus? It doesn't stay in the nose. He goes, it just kind of lumps in the nose with mucus. But if you have no mucus or you clean your nostrils before you go get tested, how are you going to test positive when you already have it, but it's in your lungs? I said, oh, that makes sense. So in a way, some of the tests are wrong, but when they finally test, they go, oh no, eventually, and then they test through one of the tests. I forgot what test it is. That's more, but people don't ask for it because they go, it's too much. But if they go in the nose, which the majority do, that's how you could test technically negative. So you go, no, I'm fine. But then like weeks later, because this one's slow, by the way, it's not fast like the alpha one or the beta one or any of the other ones that were like before Those ones you would get usually within about anywhere from 20 to 28 days, either like well or not well, right? Now, I always say this, and I've said this before, a lot of people that I've been speaking to, some wear masks, some don't wear masks, and I say, did you get coronavirus? They go, yeah. I go, how many times did you get it? And that's my new question. And they go, oh, I got it twice. I talked to somebody at Best Buy. He's like, you don't need to wear a mask. I go, did you get coronavirus? Because my mom said something to him. And he said, yeah, this was like early on when they were like going, do we mandate, do we not mandate, whatever. Now it's no mandate at all. So everybody's like, whatever, And I go, if you're sick with the flu, I don't want what you got, right? Because I don't want to not be able to speak here on the show. But my point is this. Some of the tests are not reporting this. And then weeks later, because this one's a slow roll, anywhere from and this has happened to someone else that I know, a couple people. They said this to my mom. They said, we've been battling this for a couple months. So some of these stay with you longer. Okay, so that's the problem. So be careful, be aware of it, and remember, we got to be careful along the way. Now, some people have a really good immune system. Some people have a shot. I say if you have an immune system, still get the shot, because you never know how it can affect your body. Now, that's the latest information on a lot of these variants or these new mutations. I know, Jesse, you've been kind of doing some stuff on that. It hurts the, we'll go with like muscle, tendon, and tissue. Which of the three, Jess, does it affect either really quick or really fast?
Muscles.
Okay, that's like flu, right? Like you feel achy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what's that?
You're not wrong, by the way. It does, but it doesn't stay there. It actually affects tissue. So now you go, well, technically muscle has, it does. But tissue, we're talking about like biology, like vital parts of the body, at least for now. Now, some say it affects the skin as well. Some have breakouts eventually. Some turn a little like yellow. Some turn like different color. Some say that's Moderna. Others say that's Pfizer. Others say that's a vaccine in your body. If you had lymph nodes that swelled up when you got the vaccine back in 2021, then you may be at risk. Future stuff, because those things are going to come out as studies. But a lot of people are doing research on that. But are you still alive? I say, well, be ahead of it. Stay alive. Some people go, well, when I die, I die. I go, yeah, but you'll have regret eventually, because then you'll be like, hey, we finally got over it, or we got around it at some point. So I always say this: we'll get around it, but we got to stay alive to see the end, because unfortunately we're losing a lot of people. So, all right. So anyway, that's how you can have technically a false, what they call, I think they call it a false negative, where you think you're fine, then you go and you realize you had coronavirus the whole time. So it's a slow roll. Remember, it doesn't happen that quick, and that's what you need to know, especially with this new variant and some of the ones that are coming out about this. It's no longer really. They're calling it the BQ family. I don't know what they call it, just because they keep saying that they're going to call it like different like Greek things. I don't know if you have any information about that, do you?
It's called BQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that a while ago. It keeps like the only thing every time I look for BQ, it would be like BQ 1.1 variant or BQ 1 point something. So I thought they were doing like you said, the Greek alphabet, but now they're throwing out these other letters, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I can't keep up with it. I'm trying, but it's like, okay. So these are the ones that you have to look out for, along with the other ones, including 4, 5, 6, and possibly even 7. They may talk about 7 or 8 soon, or maybe this is the one that's coming in. I don't know. I talked to some people that are smart about this, and I go, okay, what next? And they say people aren't ahead, but they say wear that mask, and just don't get it. I said, all right, that makes sense. So anyway, all right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay tuned.
Football season is back, and every Monday night, the Two Coot Lounge at the Yamava Resort and Casino in San Manuel is where you need to be. Come cheer on your favorite team and become a Club Serrano member for your chance to win incredible prizes, enjoy entertained by the 66ers dance team. It's the Monday night pigskin party at the Two Coot Lounge at the brand new Yamava Resort and Casino in San Manuel in Highland, California. Rep your team, and we'll see you there this Monday.
When you want the best performance for your vehicle, think only of Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, right off the I-10 and 60 freeways. Check out Scott's complete list of performance products on their website at hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers can recommend ways for your car or truck to get better gas mileage and cut down on emissions. Need your car or truck to pass smog only? Go to Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. Find out all of your questions on vehicle performance by logging on to hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, hdrinfo.com.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam encased top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
Hi, everyone. This is Bernadette, the host of One Life Radio, your #1 source for alternative and holistic health since 2011. One Life Radio is designed to educate and inspire. Visit us at oneliferadio.com because you get one body, you get one mind, and you get one life. Get out there today and make the most of it. Tune in weekdays at 1 p.m. on 1490 KMET Smart Talk, ABC News Radio.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state? Did you miss sending out a prior year tax return? The IRS is out to collect now more than ever, and they'll use any means necessary. They legally can and will garnish your wages, take your money, and even seize your property. If you're behind on your taxes, call the Tax Relief Hotline right now at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000. You can legally get your tax debt under control, and in many cases get the breathing room you need. Garnished wages, property seizures, bank levies can stop immediately, but you have to call. Many of our specialists are IRS enrolled agents. They know the system and how to make it work for you. Don't wait for the IRS to come down on you. Act now so you can get your tax debt under control. Riverside office today for free info at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We got lots of things going on. Jess is scouring the news headlines. Jess, what's going on?
Okay. You know what? Remember yesterday we were talking about what was it? You said Obama could be president again, and looked into. I was reading the say 22nd Amendment, and you know what? There is a small loophole, but I don't think it means what you think it means.
Okay.
So what it is he can serve up to 10 years total. So he served 8. So he would have to be vice president. Then the president would have to pass away, and then he would finish 2 years.
Okay. Did it talk
Yeah,
about running again though?
no, it did not talk about running again.
Okay. All right. That's consecutive. That's what that is.
It did not take consecutive. But
I don't know. You
yeah.
got a little demon there. All right. So here's the question of the day. I'm like, what is it that sounds like that, Jess? Seriously. I want to do that.
I have something stuck in my throat.
Yeah,
Okay.
obviously. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on in the world. And yeah, that's the thing. I know. Look, you're going to see people talking about it. And I'm sure, there are people that are going, wait, what? And then others are calling it out like you. And then others are going, well, and I just say, just wait for it. And then we'll see who's right. And then you owe me lunch. That's all I got to say. All right, cool.
There is something though that I think you okay, so yeah, I'm not willing to admit it yet. But so did you hear about who's in charge of the new DC universe?
Who's in charge or who's wanting to take charge?
No, 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 no. Who's in charge? They actually chose 2 people to help like spearhead it.
Okay. I think, let me put it this way. There was an interesting post. I got to find it. And I said, uh-oh, somebody's trying to take control of it. And I think he might, just so you know. Okay, well, go ahead and tell me, and then I'll tell you my theory.
Okay, so James Gunn is one of the co-CEOs.
Yeah.
So he will be kind of like give his input and stuff like that. So he in an article he told the first 2 people on
Wait, who's co-CEO?
James Gunn, and I don't know who the other one is.
That
I can't
makes
find
sense.
his name. Right? Yeah, I guess just spearhead the most important one, right?
Yeah.
So apparently he made a comment saying how he instantly called 2 people to let him know that, he's one of the top dudes at the DC studios and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
So can you guess who the first person he called is?
No, I can't.
So the first person apparently he called was Kevin Feige. Yep. To congratulate him and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, guess what happened? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
I'm not going to lie. I do not know who that is. I probably should.
Kevin Feige is the main brain behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
So, yes. So it's so Peter Safran is the other guy. That's the other CEO. No idea who that is. But either way, just imagine right now. Right now it's starting. So what if James Gunn and Kevin Feige get buddy and they decide to cross over characters like you said they might?
Oh, wait, hold up. Are you saying, we're going with what I said about Marvel?
Maybe, I don't know, but just think about it. He made the Guardians of the Galaxy, So, I don't know. Maybe like 6 years down the line, we might see a crossover like you said there might. Now that we have some people who actually have a vision, maybe?
Yeah. Okay. I found what I want, and this is, I know, way out there, and you're going to disagree with me. I know it. But if you know anything about The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, you'll know he's a baller, okay? He has a show about that, but he's a baller, okay? He brings people together, okay? Now, he said this, and the way he said this, because he does his own media, the way he said it, I go, whoa. And he had about Henry Cavill, right? And if you haven't seen the movie, in essence, Henry Cavill is back, right, for another. Everyone knows that. It's all over media. We're not really spoiling anything, but there you go. Okay, now, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said this in a post on his Facebook. I follow him. He says, "We fought for years to bring you back. They always said no. Uh-oh. What does it mean we fought for years to bring you back? They always said no. Who said no, Jess? And who, in answer, spearheaded Black Adam? Was it not The Rock Johnson?
That it was.
Okay, so we agree on that. So he fought for years to bring this, and I don't know which one came first, Shazam or this, or it was his play to bring back, in a way, the Black Adam in the universe. I don't know why he wants to bring Black Adam so much into the universe of DC, but this is something that he said, and I thought, okay, this is telling. He says, but for Danny Garcia Co., I don't know who that is, and H.H. Garcia 41, I don't know who that is, and myself, no was never an option. Okay, now hold on to that. He says, we cannot intelligently and strategically, that's The Rock, he's strategic, build out our DC universe, back to what you're saying, Jess, without the greatest superhero of all time. So they are going next level with DC, okay? They're going big, all right? He says, because for us, the fans will always come first. So he's a huge fan, right? Now he says this, as wild as it sounds, I learned that fans' first philosophy back when I wrestling, and this is, you got to remember, he's a strategist. Even though you don't think of him like that. You think, oh, he's just muscle. He's a strategist. When I was wrestling in flea markets for $40 a match, well before the bright lights of WWE. Okay, so he knows strategy, he knows entertainment, and he knows fun. He says, welcome home, Superman. I'll see you down the road. He's got the little, like, lightning bolt as emoji for his, Black Adam. So Jess, I think, in a way, again, he can't be CEO right now, okay? But in a way, he has a lot of control, which is why he's a producer on that film, by the way. But I think, in a way, he's like, no, you can't do that. And I think he made a call with a couple of others, said, why would you do that? He's the best Superman we have right now. Other than Christopher Reeve. I think he would do that for Christopher Reeve if Christopher Reeve were alive. But my point is this. He, in essence, is kind of doing a player move when he says, we fought for years to bring you back. I thought he was talking, like, in fan mode, right? And then he says they always said no, but he goes, For Danny Garcia Co., you should look that up. And H.H. Garcia 41 and myself, no was never an option. I would think they're part of the Black Adam, thing. But remember, Black Adam is part of the Shazam universe. And in a way, they brought at the end of Shazam, if you haven't seen Shazam #1, they bring a little cameo. It's Superman, but it's not Superman as Henry Cavill because they had this whole thing in the middle. Right? So I think maybe they planned for it the whole time, and they're like, you can't have like a stand-in as that. So I thought, look, when they got rid of Henry Cavill, I was like, wow. And he did this like telling little post. It's kind of weird, not gonna lie. He had this like Superman figure, and then he put it like as though it was disappearing, but like he was putting it in the closet next to him or whatever. I don't know. People were like, what does that mean? But I think in a way, somebody executive said something, and they're like, okay, we're not gonna put any more money there. Because they wanted more money than they had at the time. Because Batman, Superman was not a good mix. I'm not going to lie. I was not a fan of it. Was I a fan of Justice League? Yes. But it was all over the place, okay? Especially the edited cut. Some say the director's cut is better. That's you, Jess. You turned me on to it. But I say it was all over the place for a reason, okay? They really didn't know what they were doing. And there was a lot of things happening for the director while it was happening. Okay, like, family, right? Like, he had a lot of problems. Okay, so you can't be upset about that, but you got to say, okay, is Marvel beating them? Yes, but Marvel, in a way, had a strategy meeting with Stan Lee when he was alive. He had all the executives. He said, okay, this all has to do this. So he had this outline. They said, okay, this makes sense. That's why they get the outline ahead of time. They go, okay, this is going to come out at this time. This is going to come in this time. And they all connect together, right? That's why it makes sense. And so when you see like a little bit of like talking about something and something else, and you go, wait a minute, that connects to that movie. Oh, that tells something that's gonna. There's always a connection, right? For example, She-Hulk, Disney Plus, right? I still have to complete the season, by the way. I'm only like on the, I think, 5th one, so I have to complete the season. Just, you want to say something about that? Go ahead.
No, you gotta watch that last one. But like, yeah, like, do you know how long The Rock wanted to play Black Adam?
I have heard over 10 years, but some say 20 years.
Yeah, I remember watching it was an interview with him, and they're like, yeah, what superhero would you like to play? And this was like in early 2007.
Okay.
And he said the camera, he was like, I want to be Black Adam.
Isn't that weird? Like way before the DC even did anything, right? Like really big.
Exactly. So just thinking about it, like he wanted to play this character and he fought for it. And I thought he did a great job on the movie. I mean, obviously I don't like The Rock is The Rock, so I always see him as him. But you know what? I thought he did great. It was a fun movie and yeah, like I remember watching a interview with Henry Cavill and he was saying that it wasn't just Dwayne Johnson that was fighting for him to come back. It was like all these other people he was listing off as well, like you said.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of people behind the scenes that were fighting to bring Henry Cavill back, because obviously the whoever was the head of the DC studios did not have any vision or clue on where he wanted his films and just the whole universe to flow.
Yeah, I think they had an idea, and I think there were creative people that were bringing it together. Like, for example, Aquaman, right? Momoa. I never saw that coming, all right? Momoa is probably the best revamped character of Aquaman that made it cool, right? Because people were like, are you kidding me? Green and, like, orange and blonde guy, right? When they did Momoa, I was like, okay, all right, I'll give it attention. But I wasn't a fan at the beginning until I saw it, and I said, all right, I'm a fan now. And then when they put them all together, I was like, okay, but I like Wonder Woman. I like Henry Cavill. I didn't like how they did him, like all of a sudden, like real mean to everybody. I'm like, whatever. I like the Flash, although that guy, I don't know if they're going to replace him anytime soon because he's in trouble with the law. You know, that's actor. You know, what are you going to do? But Flashpoint, I think, was a thing of where they were going, and then it suddenly got like, okay, bye-bye. Because I think they put a lot of money in, and again, some of what they were hoping, back to greedy, they were hoping it would like pay off real quick. But it didn't with Justice League. It was kind of like a bomb. And then they did Batman, Superman, and kind of like, whatever. So my point is this. I think they're going to get revamped with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The whole series of Shazam is good for kids. And I think they're bringing it together slowly. But I think what they need to do, no one's going to do this, I guarantee it, because I don't know why they don't do this. It's dumb. They don't ever bring the TV verse and film verse together. But CW does it right, in my opinion, when it comes to DC. Green Arrow, Canary, all those. If they brought like the verse, like multiverse, because they can, I think they could bring them all together. Kind of like the Toby and the other, you know, Garfield and right. You have a thought there, Jess? Go ahead.
Do you watch the CW DC shows?
Some, yes.
Okay, so in one, I know this is gonna be a huge spoiler, but I think it has to be said. There was a crossover event, okay? I think it was called like Infinite Crisis or something like that.
Yeah.
There was a scene where the Flash entered the Speed Force, okay? And he met another version of Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first time I've ever seen a movie character reprise a role in a TV show.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know. That means it can be done. Okay.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to figure out a way not to spoil it, but it's hard because you know it's important.
Yeah. Okay. That's important because if they've already done it, then they can do it again. Sometimes executives don't pay attention to the little things that the creative person they put in there and they leave it there. Kind of like Stanley. Stanley had some thoughts about where the verse would go, and I think they're kind of carrying that out because he had them sign a contract about what they would do eventually, right? Which is why he was really good about that. I met him once at the Stanley's Kamikaze, and before he died, he had it turned into Comic-Con, which is, by the way, around the corner, December, okay? They canceled it from, I think, the June or July one, but they are bringing back, I think it's December, don't quote me on this, but it's ComicConLA.com. Get your tickets. And I think it's the 2nd through the 4th. Okay, so it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, we're good friends with Regina, who actually we had on the show before. We actually did a giveaway. We can reach out. I don't know if they're gonna, say anything this time because they always have like now a gatekeeper. I'm like, thanks a lot. But anyway, my point is this: for people that are fans of DC or Marvel, I think back to what you're trying to say, Jess, but you're not admitting to it just yet. I think the people that are in it to win it. Back to Gunn. What does Gunn know about Marvel? Jesse.
Just the fact that he has a good relationship with Kevin Feige. So you know what? If the relationship is good, you never know what's going to come out. Because you never know. I mean, there's so many stories to tell.
But yeah, okay, but Jess, you're missing the huge one. What did James Gunn direct that was Marvel?
Oh yes, he directed the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm telling you, they're gonna bring it full circle. I told you this. I told you months ago. You didn't believe it, but think about it. It's right there. It's staring you in the face. He did the awesome when it came to what I thought was gonna be dumb. Not gonna lie, when I first saw it, and then because I didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy, and then I saw it, I go, okay, I'm a fan. I loved Raccoon. I loved Groot. I love the whole everything. Okay. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So you're saying, in essence, I might be right.
Yes, I'm saying that you might be right. You know, you never know. Like 5 years from the future, I'm looking forward ahead of time on what's planning out. But you know what? It's possible. It's possible now that James Gunn is in charge.
I say anywhere from 3 to 4 years, we're gonna see something that's gonna go what, and then we're gonna go, awesome. This is so awesome. So it's the best time to be alive. Stay alive. That's what I say. Okay, we're gonna take a quick look. Go ahead. Say what you want to say, Jess. What were you thinking?
No. Even if it was animated, I would be happy with that.
In one of the animated ones, they already gave a clue on it. It's in the what if. Just so you know, that's a clue. Yeah. It's in one of them. Okay, one of the voices you happen to know, even though it is the what if series of one of them, you hear a character from the DC verse. He's in both of them. Clue, Wonder Woman brings it together. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay tuned.
Taxpayers are in the hole with Christy Holstage. Christy Holstage backed the Measure D sales tax hike. Now, Californians are struggling under the worst inflation in 40 years. And as a local mayor, Holstage repeatedly passed budgets that hiked taxes. But where did the money go? Holstage voted for racial reparations, pushing $46 million in payouts. Holstage even voted for a program that gives a no-strings-attached basic guaranteed income exclusively to transgender residents. And Holstage helped lead an organization that openly supports defunding police. And when she wasn't busy voting to raise taxes, Christie was personally profiting from her elected office. While mayor, the city voted to rezone the property investments Holstage and her rich real estate husband owned without disclosing her interests to the public. Now she wants you to give her a promotion to the state assembly. If you want out of the tax dollar hole, vote no to Christy Holstage by November 8th. Political ad paid for by the Inland Empire Taxpayers Association, FPPC ID 1285847.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the #1 choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4-LAW. That's 1-800-616-4-LAW.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit. Get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us. Yeah, some interesting stuff. I know I saw a post on someone who said, "What? You're kidding me? No way, Jose. That would be awesome." Because Gunn is, in essence, Marvel. So the fact that he's going with Warner Brothers as DC now kind of goes, okay, what's he going to do next? And it's not unheard of to say, hey, let's bridge the gap. Jesse actually alluded to it way back when he remembered a comic series which actually bridged the gap of DC and Marvel. They actually did a few. I'm sure somebody's going to resurface that and say, it is a thing. They can do it. It's just called licensing. So somebody needs to kind of like, okay, let's put it this way. When you show something in a movie, even if it's a clip, you have to get credit from it, right? In order to like show it. Give you an example. There's a show that I watch, but they kind of gave some credit to it, and I go, wait a minute. Then I checked it because I know licensing. If you have it there, it means something. And Jesse was like, yeah, duh, right? It's called Sandman. Sandman, which is on Netflix, I really like, by the way. It's very adult, by the way, but it's a series that was actually an independent series, and then it got bought by the DC verse. So it's part of the DC verse, right? So you'll see little like characters in it that kind of allude to it, but it's kind of like the fantasy and other thing, which I don't want to say just yet because I don't want to like because I don't think people will understand. But it's kind of like, are they dreaming or are they alive or are they, So I'll just leave it there. I think it's interesting when you look at it from that angle. But anyway, all right, Jess, I know there's a lot of things going on. There is this, a warning, by the way. This is for you parents. Okay, we talked about this a little, not a lot. And I know you guys hate hearing this, but it's good to know about the kids, okay? Here's the headline. Children severely ill with RSV are filling up hospitals. It's called respiratory syncytial virus. It's a leading cause of infant mortality around the globe and especially dangerous to prematurely born babies. There are no vaccines or treatments available yet. Some say it's a version of coronavirus, by the way. They're just not saying what one it is yet. If you find information on that, then let me know. Because RSV has been around for a while, but so has coronavirus. Coronavirus, this is the 19th major version of coronavirus. That's why it says COVID-19, which is SARS-like, which is why it gets into the respiratory system of your lung, okay? So if you have a problem breathing, some of these can combine to make a worse one. That's why we're really not ahead of coronavirus, especially the ones coming out. That's why it keeps mutating. It's like, I don't want to be killed. I don't want to be killed. I don't want to be killed. So this one, it goes back to hospital admissions in 2019. More than 100,000 deaths in children under 5, usually in countries that are, not really rich in like, stuff that can help save them. Pediatricians are going, yeah, it's pretty familiar. We've had to deal with this before. It says, of the 3 respiratory viruses that are grappling with this winter, I would say there's about anywhere from 8 to 12 different ones, maybe even 13. The coronavirus and the flu are well-known threats. The 3rd respiratory syncytial virus has already sent thousands of children to hospitals, and some are not figuring out what to do about it. So they say take them there anyway, because you need to try to, help the little one get well eventually. I said this, I think last week. I said if you see a little one having trouble breathing, make sure to take care of it, especially if they're a young one, okay? When coronavirus came out, they really weren't tackling the young ones because they said, okay, it's basically people over a certain age group. Then when it came to shot, they gave it over a certain age group. Then they reduced it down to 50, if you remember that. That was early spring of 2022. Now they're saying some of them are good for, 5 and above. Some are 6 and above, depending. And a lot of parents aren't getting that for their kid. But this one's attacking the kids. So if you see a breathing problem with your kid, just go to your doctor and say, hey, by the way, can I get this one tested? Because I hear there's a thing called RSV. And if you have something for it, I kind of need that for my little one because a lot of ones are getting sick with it and they may even die from it. So you got to be careful with that. All right, Jess, I know you're seeing something over there. What's going on?
Are we still doing daylight savings time? I'm just curious.
Right. I'm like, what is going on with that whole law thing? Remember when they're like, okay, right? Like, did they stall? Did they get dumb? What happened? Because didn't they say in essence, okay, we're going to stop it, but still we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm not going to lie. I would like it the time it is now. They need to select this time because the longer I get like sun, the better. Plus, when you think about when it comes to energy, you use energy because it gets darker earlier. I don't like the whole dark, like, early thing. It's depressing. You know what I mean?
Just a bit. Are we supposed to set our clocks back? I'm confused. I mean, everything is automatic so far. The only thing that's manual is like my car, but I don't know.
Well, according to this, here's the good news. All right, I found an article which is worth sharing. Okay, I just don't know which one they selected. But it's still a if thing, because it's basically, you know how long it takes to enact certain things that we already voted on? It's ridiculous. So according to this is, here it is. I'm going to go with AccuWeather. Okay, AccuWeather is saying this. Here's the headline. Daylight saving time is ending, and this weekend might be the last time we fall back. So yes, the answer is yes, we fall back. So that means we lose an hour. Wait, or do we gain an hour? I forget. No, we gain an hour.
No, it's fall back.
Yeah, so we gain an hour. It's when we spring forward, we lose an hour.
Oh, wow. Speak of the devil, the emergency alert system's going on.
Is it really? It's like, oh, wait, we haven't been doing any emergencies lately. He's hearing it. Yeah.
Well, plus, it is raining over here, so I don't know what the over there.
Yeah, it is. It's raining. It's been raining since, like, midnight or something like that. Yeah, which I love. I keep the window open. I hear it. But there may be flash flood warnings, especially in the area, because there's a lot of mud. And so... yeah, we'll have that for you guys. Make sure to find us, KMET, 1490 AM. It's an app. It's free. We're always on. Even if Jess isn't there or someone's not there, it's always on, just so you know. So those emergency broadcasts are very important, just so you know. But according to this, yes, evidently, it said, could this November be the last time clocks in most parts of the U.S. fall back to standard time ending daylight saving time? Well, it says, well, clocks, again, will be set back an hour. On November 6th, so it's this weekend, Jess. What? You all right there?
I hate going back and forth. It's annoying, because then I got to do it again in spring. We need to just stop this.
I'm not gonna lie. I think if they just kept the time as it is now, we would be fine, right? Just because we get it, you know? It says this, AccuWeather is about all you need to know about the future of the century-long practice. Which is 100 years, not 10. Some people go, is a century 10? That's a decade. It says a bill that would make daylight saving time permanent passed in the U.S. Senate on March 16th, days after clocks were set to spring forward on the second Sunday of March, setting the annual tradition in motion. But March 16th also marks the last action taken in regard to the proposed Sunshine Protection Act of 2021 when it made its way to the U.S. House, where it's been stalled. Yeah, duh, according to Congress.gov. They're so dumb. The bill was introduced by U.S. Senator Marco Rubio of Florida in 2021. I think he's going to run, by the way. He's going to run for president, just so you know. That's why they're saying a lot of stuff about him. Who, along with other bill supporters, cited reduced crime and car accidents among the reasons for making... Oh, that makes sense. Because people hide in the dark. Does that make sense? Even though we've been reporting things in the daylight that happened, but whatever. It says, advocates are hoping it would take effect on November 5th, 2023. Really? That's like forever. That's next year this time. According to Congress.gov, states with areas exempt from daylight saving time may choose a standard time for those areas. Okay. Now, Arizona, this is a thing. Arizona stays. You go to Arizona, you get kind of confused there. You're like, wait, what? They don't change. It says Arizona, with the exception of the Navajo Territory and Hawaii, are the two states, oh, I didn't know that about Hawaii, that do not observe daylight saving time. Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, Northern Mariana Islands, Guam, and American Samoa don't follow it either. Oh, I didn't know that. That's new information for me. So we're dumb, Jess.
It sounds like it. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, does Arizona have their head on straight?
For that they do, man. They don't have to worry about it. I remember vacationing there because I had family there. And I was like, this is nice. And then when I came back, I go, wait, I have to move it? You know, so yeah, you got to just be aware when you go back and forth. You get a little confused. But yes, this weekend, we do have to fall back. Will we going forward? I don't know. Oh, it says here, other countries also reevaluating their use of daylight time. Mexico, there's a bill to scrape it. Go, bye-bye. Let's see.
Oh, okay. So other countries follow it too. Oh, thank God we're not the only dumb ones.
Yeah. There are, and then they're not. I know we've had people on the show which talk about it. They go, we don't do it here. But yeah, so yeah. In 1895, New Zealand proposed a 2-hour shift forward in October and a 2-hour shift backward in March to the Wellington Philosophical Society, but that only led to heavy criticism and mocking, with some detractors calling it confusing. It wasn't until 1916, 2 years into the First World War, that it was first implemented by Germany. The country decided to turn every clock in the country 1 hour ahead with the goal of minimizing the use of fuel for artificial lighting and saving it for war efforts. Soon after, other European countries such as Austria, France, and the United Kingdom joined the practice. Pittsburgh native Robert Garland introduced the idea to the U.S. in 1918 after he visited the U.K. Oh, he brought it here from the U.K.? What a dumb man! And a bill was signed and approved by President Wilson on March 8th of that same year. This is why we go, whenever we have to go back and forth. It's usually when we spring forward, we lose, right? We go, But some people get like that because they go, wait, do I stay up? Do I not? I like it because when you sleep in, you get that hour, right? Because it feels like that. But it does something to the body clock of us. But, yeah. Well, there you go. So that's the answer. So will it be the last one? I hope it is. They stalled. I don't know why they stalled. They should just implement going, yeah, 2022 is awesome, right? We keep it. We don't have to worry about it. But some of those clocks are automatic, though, huh? They just do it. I know my mom's clock. She goes, yeah, it already did. It did like, I think a week ago or something like that. So one of the clocks does that. And then sometimes your clocks in your like vehicle are that, depending on the year that it was made. And then some of them do not. Some of them you have to do it manually. So because I don't know where they went like with a 2-week difference or 3-week difference, but I was like, who did that, right? Like, so they're not consistent. That's all I can say. But anyway, there it is. We're out of time. I want to do a big shout out to Don Lewis Montgomery. Thank you for tuning in. Angenia Kirsten, thank you. She says, I love the rain. She says, keep it every 6 months. No way, Jose. And Stephanie Reed says, I know my client Zulily Shopping Brand sent me a Lego Guardian of the Galaxy Advent Calendar Holiday Special. So, really cool. Awesome. Great. All right. And I love that gun is part of the Marvel-verse, the DC-verse. Who's he going to bring together first as a,
Right. And you never know. Also, one quick tip. Remember, the Powerball is tonight, and I think it's almost $1 billion, so get your ticket.
A lot of people have been actually buying and winning here in California. All right, people, make it a great day. Whatever you do, remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone.